Hey everyone. The last couple days I've been kind of busy with a friend who had surgery. Trying to report. I've been watching George Zimmerman the last 2 days. Um, but here's what I'm thinking. The six jurors, the six ladies, um, they're going to be, they're not going to vote for the second degree murder. If they look at the evidence really right, what I'm reading their mind after asking for the list in order of the items that was in the case was shown. I believe they're going to do the manslaughter. Since Florida has no release time, prison release time, they can't get out parole. That's what I was trying to say. But things I'm seeing, like the dummy, okay, they showed where the gun was on George Zimmerman and where Martin was down on the ground, his knees between his chest and armpits. Yes, how could George Zimmerman reach his gun? Because Trayvon Martin was blocking the gun. And going back, the defense showed what could have been, like they explained, it could have been in the cartoon video, that this could have been what we might have imagined has happened. But that's if that actually happened. Like a lot of things George said. I remember the other day, 2 days ago, that when, no, actually it was last night, that when the state talked, he pointed at George Zimmerman is the one who is guilty here. He's the one who knows the truth, and he's the one who killed him. And I saw George Zimmerman with that smirk, shaking his head, and as he continues, O'Mara was kind of boring to me. It was just so, how he talked, it was, I don't know how in the world he could bore someone. Because I saw the camera facing, they showed George Zimmerman's dad yawning. Like, he's bored. And O'Mara was saying some of the jurors are falling asleep. He was boring. He doesn't have the knack of keeping excitement up for these people, and they're not being bored. They're falling asleep. And O'Mara was like so bored, and I'm ready to turn that channel. I was like, that's it. I'm tired of your mouth. And going over what he said, he's going to be only a 3-hour closing. It became into a 4-hour closing. So I don't blame the jury who's leaving tonight, want to leave early tonight, and hopefully they do look at everything. And I'm thinking it's going to be a manslaughter, and he will, if it's manslaughter, I'm believing about 20 years. He will stand for 20 years in prison. Somebody, they'll think, the jury, the six ladies will say, look, somebody will have to stand for the murder of Trayvon Martin. And looking at the other evidence, chasing him, profiling him, and lying about the shooting. And then plus, if that the night he those videos showing the police what happened that night, he said there was a police officer who drove right by him. Why didn't he get to him? That's another proof that he was like, I'm going to get him. I'm going to be the hero. Since he says these people are going to get away, I'm tired of them getting away. Trayvon Martin lived there. He had the right to be on that property. And I think Zimmerman was not on the duty to make a call. He was not on. There's shifts that you have to be on as a neighborhood watchman. He wasn't even on that shift. He was coming from somewhere. People say he was coming from a grocery store. Whatever. He usually on Sundays he goes. Does he go that same time every Sunday? And why? Because he doing the neighborhood. He wasn't on duty for neighborhood watch. That's another thing, because I lived in a gated community. They hired security guards, and they're on certain types of shifts, and I talked to them because I deliver newspapers and I lived in the neighborhood, and they knew when I come in. I told them, so this is usually, it depends on when I come in, because sometimes newspapers are late, and we pick up different times, different hours. You never know. But I was telling my mom, because down in Indianapolis, there was a particular apartment complex always got robbed. There's always something. Every time we show up, there's always something. Somebody's doing something, stealing, breaking into cars, robbing people. And I told my mom, I'm always calling them because they have the police come out. The only time I get out of the car is delivering newspapers. I go back to my car and sit and wait till the officers. I tell them where I am, and I stay there until they show up. Unless they ask me to follow them in my car. They usually do. Because I don't care. I can follow them. This way I know